Like always, I'll mention two things, inshallah, 2 points. So inshallah, one will be related to the surah that we were reading, and it also ties into tonight's event. And then inshallah, the next one will be about also the event. Surah At-Tawbah talks about the expedition of Tabuk. And Tabuk was one of the expeditions that was the harshest one, the most difficult one. And it not only it required personal contribution, but it also required monetary contribution. And the Prophet ﷺ openly was asking for donations and asking for people to support. Many Sahaba that were wealthy, they gave their wealth. Uthman radiallahu anhu, as we mentioned in the beginning of the talk tonight, that he was his highlight of Tabuk, of that expedition, that he came to the Prophet ﷺ and he said, I want to give 300 camels with provisions and so much more for the army. And the Prophet ﷺ kept on making dua for him, and he kept on increasing because he wanted the dua of the Prophet ﷺ. He kept on increasing, and one riwayah mentions that he gave 900 camels. He was a person that he already contributed so much to the deen, to this tradition. He was one of the first comers to Islam, but his wealth was also a means for the Muslims to survive and thrive. And he gave so much to the Prophet ﷺ, and he gave, according to one riwayah, thousands of dinar and gold and silver coins he gave to the Prophet ﷺ, that he kept on pouring in the Prophet ﷺ's lap. And the Prophet ﷺ said that he made dua for him that may Allah bless you and may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala forgive you. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala always gave barakah in his wealth. So he contributed to one third, like the Imam Tahir when was asking who's going to give 50,000, 30,000, whatever amount. That's what he was doing. He said, I'm going to take care of 1/3. It came up to 1/3 of the whole entire army's provisions for that expedition. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala blessed him. And there were many people that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala then also mentions. Subhanallah, we are part of a school that no child left behind, right? So no Muslim left behind. Everyone has something to offer. Even for those who do not have anything to offer, their intention that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala loves and describes. It describes their emotion that they were leaving and they had tears in their eyes because they couldn't also give and contribute and give money like the other Sahaba that they were giving. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, تَوَلَّوْا وَأَعْيُنُهُمْ تَفِيضُ مِنَ الدَّمِّ حَزَنًا أَلَّا يَجِدُوا مَا يُنْفِقُونَ. On the other hand, the hypocrites, they were just always looking for excuse. Always looking for excuse. Oh, this is going to happen. Maybe this is going to happen. Maybe that's going to happen. Oh, it's going to be difficult. It's going to be hard. They're always playing into the devil's habit. And what is his habit? He always blames others for his mistakes and his wrongdoings. So the munafiqeen that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala describes about them, and then he describes some other people who خَلَطُوا عَمَلًا صَالِحًا وَآخَرَ سَيِّئًا. They wanted to go and they were sincere, but for some reason they didn't go and they couldn't contribute. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala accepted their tawbah. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentioned them as well. Subhanallah. So don't ever think that perhaps maybe I see other people doing a lot more. Yes, we also part of our tradition that we have musabaqa and we have tanafus, we have competition. And in Ramadan is actually desired to have competitions in good deeds. Like you compete with one another to do more, to give more, to do more ibadah, to read more Quran and so on and so forth, but also spending for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So we belong to this tradition that has all these great traits of, even if you are unable to, try to and push yourself and compete with one another. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will accept if you are unable to and you fall short. Because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is the most forgiving, most merciful.